Welcome to The Explainer. Have you ever wondered why you automatically reach for your phone first thing in the morning? Or why some habits just seem to stick no matter what, while others are impossible to start? Well, today, we're diving deep into the hidden science of our daily routines to find out how you can become the architect of your own behavior.
So, let's kick things off with a question that kind of gets to the heart of our daily lives. Just think about your day so far. How many of your actions were really conscious choices? And how many of them, well, just sort of happened on their own? That's the core mystery we're going to unravel today.
You know, to really get to the bottom of this, we've actually got to go way back, like back to 1898. Our story starts not with a person, but with a pretty clever experiment involving a psychologist, a few hungry cats, and this thing called a puzzle box. All right, so this is psychologist Edward Thorndike. He was fascinated with how we learn things, so he built these special puzzle boxes, put a cat inside, and then just waited. The cat's job was to figure out how to escape, maybe by pulling a string or pushing a lever to get a delicious little food reward waiting just outside. And here's where it gets really, really cool. Just look at these escape times. On the first try, the cat is just kind of stumbling around, It takes almost 3 minutes to get out. But check this out. After just 30 tries, the escape is this automatic, lightning-fast action. That's learning in real time.
And this right here, this is the big aha moment from all of Thorndike's work. It's such a simple idea, but it has massive implications. Basically, any action that leads to a good outcome gets bookmarked by our brain. It's like a mental note that just says, hey, remember this, we should do this again.
Okay, so great story about cats, right? But what does that have to do with us and our incredibly complex brains? Why do our minds even create these little automatic routines in the first place? Well, a habit is basically your brain's ultimate efficiency tool. It's a mental shortcut that it learns from experience to solve a problem that keeps popping up. It's your brain basically saying, hey, I've seen this before. I've got a program for this. Let's just run it and save some energy.
There's this huge myth about habits, and this slide just nails it. We often think that having routines makes life boring or that it restricts our freedom. But the truth is actually the complete opposite. When you put the important stuff on autopilot, you free up all this mental energy for the stuff that really matters, like being creative or solving new problems.
All right, so let's pop the hood and see how this whole thing actually works inside our brains. How does a regular behavior turn into an automatic habit? It all comes down to a simple 4-step pattern that is constantly running in the background of our minds.
These are the 4 stages: cue, craving, response, and reward. Every single habit you have, literally every one, from brushing your teeth to scrolling through your phone, follows this exact same pattern.
This graphic is perfect because it shows you the whole domino effect. It always kicks off with a cue, which then triggers a craving. That craving is what motivates you to perform a response, which in turn leads to a reward. And that reward is what tells your brain, hey, let's do that again.
Okay, let's quickly define what each of these really means. The cue is the trigger. It could be a time of day, a place, an emotion. The craving isn't for the action itself, but for the change in feeling it delivers. The response is the actual habit you do. And finally, the reward is what satisfies that craving and reinforces the entire loop for next time. Let's make this real with an example we all know way too well: checking your phone. The cue is the buzz or the notification sound. That instantly creates a craving to know what the message says. Your response is to grab the phone and read it. And the reward? Satisfying that little itch of curiosity. Boom, loop complete. Or how about this one? The classic morning coffee. The cue is simply waking up. Now, the craving isn't actually for the coffee itself, it's for the feeling of alertness it gives you. The response is making and drinking the coffee. And the reward is that satisfying feeling of, okay, I'm ready for the day. Now, this is absolutely crucial to get. This isn't just a one-time thing. It's a continuous neurological feedback loop. Your brain is literally always scanning the environment, predicting what's going to happen, trying stuff out, and learning from the results. This loop is running every single moment you're awake. So, this is all great science, but what's the point? How can we actually use this stuff? Well, this is where it gets really powerful. We can use this knowledge to build a practical framework for taking control of our habits. It's actually a pretty straightforward formula. If you want to build a good habit, you just have to engineer each of those 4 steps. For the cue, you make it super obvious. For the craving, you make it attractive. For the response, you make it as easy as possible. And for the reward, you make it immediately satisfying.
And what about breaking a bad habit? Well, it's just as simple. You just do the exact opposite. You invert the laws. You make the cue invisible, so you're not even tempted. You make the behavior seem unattractive. You make it difficult to do by adding friction. And you make the reward unsatisfying. You're basically taking the loop apart piece by piece. So, once you really get this system, the loop and the laws, everything changes. You're not just reacting to your habits anymore. You're not a victim of them. You're the one in the driver's seat. You get to be the architect.
All right, so let's do a super quick summary of the big ideas we've covered. A habit is just an automatic solution. Its whole purpose is to save you mental energy. Every single habit follows that 4-step loop, and we can use the 4 laws to systematically build the habits we actually want.
Because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. It's not about forcing yourself with willpower. It's about understanding how your brain is already wired and using that system to make the good stuff happen automatically, until it becomes second nature.
So now you've got the toolkit. You have the instruction manual for your own mind. The only question left is, what's the very first habit you're going to design?